This is Motorsport Radio.
Hello and welcome to Motorsport Radio. I'm Lester. In this special episode, we'll be talking to the youngest ever Brit to be competing in the 24 Hours Endurance Series. He'll be racing at Silverstone at the end of this month. Please welcome 17-year-old Jack Fabby. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Lester.
Well, Jack, for those who don't really know about you and your career and where you've been and where you've come from, just briefly sum up what you've been doing recently and how you came to be the youngest ever Brit to be racing in the endurance series.
Oh, well, a bit of random events happened, really. It was, I started racing karts when I was about 8, about almost 9. I've raced karts from national level from club racing to national level since I was 14. I raced in a junior saloon car championship for 2 years, and then last year I won the Michelin Clio Cup series and the road series in my first real attempt at the championship. Really was really pleasing. It was really hard work for me and my family and any supporters that we had, because it was from the offset we were struggling. We were struggling with a bad first round, basically almost ruined the championship for us. But apart from that, we won the championship, which was really nice. And this year we weren't planning on doing a championship. Really, we were just going to try and keep a bit of our eyes open on what we could do, and I wanted to get some experience in different cars, whether it be single seaters or more saloon cars or anything like that. And it turned out that a bit of a random occurrence happened, and about 3 weeks ago we decided that we were going to end up doing the 24-hour race at Silverstone, which was a big shock to me, especially. I wasn't expecting it at all, and now I've been pretty much going to the gym every night, trying to prepare myself and get myself ready to do a really big race, and hopefully it will propel me forward in my career.
Hopefully so, yeah. It's like you say, sometimes these opportunities in motorsport just literally come out of the blue when you're not expecting them to do, especially if you're not, like you say, if you were not expecting to do a full season campaign of anything, rather than just individual races here and there, and then to get what I suppose is probably the biggest drive of your career so far to date, literally come out of the blue, must be great.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
And just tell us about the actual machine that you will be racing in the 24-hour. It's I believe it's a Honda Civic EP3 endurance spec. And have you already been out in it? Have you already tested in it?
Yeah, the car's a Honda Civic EP3. It's quite a standard road car if you were to buy a road car version of it. But this one is heavily it's proper endurance car. I spent 20 minutes testing it on Friday at Donington, and we're going to have a shakedown and a proper team test on Friday at Silverstone to get ready for the race. And it's a proper machine. It's a big step up from the Clio, especially. It's real something that you've got to manhandle it around the track, which is I quite enjoy, to be honest. I don't know about doing a 2-hour stint in it. I think I'll be knackered by the time I get out of the car, but yeah, I can't wait. It's a real race car, and it might look like a road car, but it's far from it. It's amazing to drive, and I think it'll be a really fun car to drive for 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, sort of testing and shaking it down around Donington for a few laps is one thing. Like you say, jumping in it and doing hours of a stint is another thing, especially when you're, I want to politely say this, without so much endurance experience. Is that the right thing to say? But yeah, I mean, being your age, only 17, of course, you're not going to have that much endurance experience. So how really have you been sort of preparing other than going to the gym?
Well, it's definitely a big step up. I've only really done sprint racing, and they're maximum 20-25 minute races, and to go to do a 2-hour stint and then 3 hours, maybe 4 hours later, jump back in the car and do another 2-hour stint, and then racing to the night in the rain with faster cars on the track as well. It's really, really going to punish me, I think. But yeah, the gym's a big factor, I think, of it. I think really getting on top of my fitness and preparing myself for the race, drinking lots of water, and just general stuff to keep myself fit, and especially leading up to the race. It's not just about being at the race, it's leading up to it. And it's that really. There's not much to it. It's really just making sure you don't do anything daft, like hurt yourself or anything like that at work, because that could quite badly damage the team in terms of actually having enough drivers to do the race, and obviously it stops me from doing the race in general.
And yeah, I mean, it's like you say, we're only about 3 weeks away from the big race now, and this car does look pretty impressive. Just so seen some pictures of you sat in it and of it, and it's, I mean, compared to what you were driving last year and in previous seasons, talk us through the difference of the two cars.
Oh, well, it's like day and night, really. It's the Clio was a fairly standard road car. It just had a roll cage in it and all the interior taken out at the end of the day. But this, the Honda is proper race car. Really, it's really up to date, which what I've never had. Really, I've never had an electronic dash, like a name dash or anything like that. And the biggest thing for me is all the shift lights and things like that. I've never had that. I've always just had a rev counter or a tacho counter, but it's so up to date and complicated, but it's actually quite enjoyable. It's a big step up in terms of car and what you've got to check. Obviously, you don't worry about oil pressure when you're doing a 20-minute race, because the chances of having an oil pressure drop is really low. Whereas in a 24-hour race, it's something that you'd be looking at every 10 minutes almost. So it's one of those things that I've got to prepare myself to check these things and make sure the car's running, because at the end of the day, if I don't bring the car home, it's my fault.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you've got a massive, steep learning curve, no doubt, and to be the youngest ever Brit to race in the endurance series championship is quite an accolade to do, especially if the team can bring the car home in one piece, and you. I mean, that's the first objective, of course, is just to sort of survive. Really, the massive endurance event. It's an endurance to sort of spectate and watch it really on TV, let alone if you're actually going out doing it and trying to race and be competitive as well, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think no matter what happens at the end of the race, there's going to be tears. I think if we've come first or last, or we didn't even finish, I think we're all going to be crying. I can't wait for it. Really, I've been looking forward to a moment like this all my career, and I just hope that we get the result that we want, and the team's happy, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most. It's making the people that have supported me, especially over the years, and now I've had this opportunity. It'd be nice to say thank you and get a big trophy at the end of the weekend and say this is what I can do, and hopefully things can progress from there.
And talking about progressing, perhaps, and maybe it's a bit too early to sort of ask you, perhaps, especially since you've not even done the 24-hour race, but as motorsport is usually geared towards always looking towards the future, and I mean, to do this race at your age is a massive opportunity, and especially having some of the backers that you've had in the past, and it's a great way to showcase what you can do and who you are, and going forward, that will probably, I mean, you can literally only do yourself a lot of favours by doing this race, Jack. So perhaps looking towards the future, if you could have maybe a particular goal in mind of a championship that you want to race in, or a certain car that you want to drive, do you have anything like that in mind?
Oh, well, my kind of set career path is to do endurance, which hopefully I'll be doing anyway. But I think the one thing I want to do is end up having a career in motorsport. I'm already working for a race team, but I want to be doing the driving at the end of the day. I want to be one that the team prepare the car for. So I think endurance is definitely where I want to be. I'm not really fussed what car. It's just endurance, really. Yeah, I haven't got any plans apart from this race set in stone yet. So I think we're just going to see where this race goes, and then look ahead from there.
Indeed, yeah. It's probably best to not ask you too much about that, given the tentative nature of motorsport at this level, because literally like you said yourself a moment ago, 1 minute you're looking for a driver, not knowing what you're doing for the rest of the season. Next minute, you're the youngest Brit to ever compete in the Silverstone 24 Hours. So that's it's just crazy, I suppose, the way motorsport works. You came from karting. You had quite a few years involved in karting, and you're quite successful at it as well.
Yeah, I spent quite a long time doing karting. My mum and dad did it, and I really enjoy my karting, and especially now with my racing being quite spread out compared to what karting was. I do miss it sometimes, and it would be quite fun to have another go in a kart. It's just that our budget doesn't really allow us to do car racing and do kart racing, because we struggle quite a lot anyway just doing cars. So I think karting's the best start point, because it gives you everything you need to learn, gives you everything you need to know how to race. It's just turning that experience that you get from a kart to being able to drive a car, especially when you're young. Because at the end of the day, people that are starting off from no motorsport experience, jumping straight into a junior car, have got a bigger challenge than anyone else. And then there's people that are doing karting because they haven't had that actual raw experience of just overtaking people or battling with someone. It's something that karting teaches quite well.
Hopefully, yes, it will stand you in good stead. And do you, other than this 24-hour race, I mean, I'm sure you're already probably in negotiations with other teams about other particular drives, but is this the only time that we're going to be seeing Jack Fabby out on track in the near future?
Don't put your money on it. I think there's quite a lot of things that we're trying to do. None of them are confirmed yet, but I think
perhaps something else maybe in another 24-hour race, perhaps, or
there's
maybe
we're planning things for after Silverstone. Definitely, we're planning other races to do.
Well, that is brilliant to hear. I know it's probably like with everyone, you can't say because it's early stages or whatever, but do keep us up to date with how things go. I will be at the race myself, so I'll try and catch you. I'm not getting your way. You don't have to talk to me. I will fully imagine you'll be pretty emotional, stressed, tired, and everything else. So even if we don't speak that weekend, because I don't want to get in your way, and you've got more than enough to be coping with on your own. So rather than having people like me shoving microphones in your face. So if we don't speak for a little while, Jack, have a fantastic, enjoyable 24-hour race. And we will love to see you back here again on Motorsport Radio.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
This is Motorsport Radio.